is Yor Smith, and you're listening to Inhailer Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to Cincinnati's Inhailer Radio. I am your DJ Nils, and I am in here with Caroline Smith, a.k.a. Yor Smith, and doing an interview before her show tonight at Motor, playing with Bomb and... What is the other opener?
Why you gotta put me on the spot like that?
I'm sorry. I know it's something
no.
City. No?
Oh no, I just regrammed them too. Man. Whatever your band name is, dude, I'm so sorry. I've just played with so many bands over the last couple weeks.
That's all good. I know you've been on your tour. How's it been so far?
It's been amazing. Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
been really, really great. It's the first official tour for this new project, Yor Smith, and it's been awesome.
And I know you just sold out in New York 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
It's really great.
It was really
Baby's
fun.
All Right?
Yeah.
Right? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I went there a few years ago, and it's my favorite venue.
It's a really great venue,
The backdrop is just perfect for like any band.
The little like ashtrays, that's what they are. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Yeah, that venue is amazing.
Yeah. And I know upcoming, you're playing with Rye and then Violent Femmes, which are both incredible legs.
Yeah.
Was that something the label set up, or?
No, I think I got submitted for the Rye dates, but Robin Hannibal and I have the same publishing, so I think we've been kind of like bouncing around the same circle for a little bit. And then Violent Femmes just randomly came through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like legendary. It'll work. It'll be good.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm doing those shows solo acoustic like
Nice.
I'm doing today,
Okay.
so
Cool.
I'm very excited.
And I know I mentioned Caroline Smith before. That was your original, artist name, and I know you just rebranded as Yor Smith.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that at all? What the change?
Yeah, for sure.
What promoted that?
So I've been doing music for a while, and been spending the last few years trying to figure out what I wanted to do as my next move. And when I figured it out, when I cracked the code, I kind of wanted a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of figuring things out in a public space for years and years. It kind of, when you search Caroline Smith, a lot of different phases that I've gone through come up, and I just wanted a fresh page, a fresh start, for a concise way to deliver the message.
Right. And I mean, it's not like you went that far. I mean, it's still,
right,
Smith
exactly.
is in the name. And
that was the point. I didn't want it to be so alienating, just a sidestep.
Yeah.
For you to follow along with.
Yeah.
And if you didn't listen to Caroline Smith before Yor Smith, fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You didn't have to watch the first movie to get the second one.
And I know it definitely is easier as a solo artist. You don't have to discuss with the band what should we do? 'Cause, I mean, Viet Cong, now Preoccupations.
Right.
That was a big deal when they had changed their name for obvious reasons, but still.
Right.
And I have noticed that trend recently, though, of solo artists rebranding. I know Youth Lagoon said nothing he could do left with Youth Lagoon after those 3 albums. Now he's Trevor Powers.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so he's doing his own thing now. He just put out his first album as his own name this year. And I know Milo or Milo, either way, he's a hip-hop artist, indie artist.
Cool.
Just said recently, I'm done with Milo. Still making music, but...
Sometimes it's just helpful as an artist. And, when you're always thinking of things from a creative standpoint, it just helps kind of compartmentalize things in your head. For me.
Yeah.
Just being okay, that was then, this is a new thing now, and now I have all this extra room to stretch out and play in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And I know on top of just changing the name, you went through some stylistic changes as well. I mean, your first group was, at least as far as I know, Caroline Smith and the Goodnight Sleeps, which is more of a folk group.
Exactly.
And then Caroline Smith was more of R&B, I don't want to say sultry maybe, but
sure.
more moody,
Yeah.
R&B kind of sound. What was the change between folk to that sound to Caroline Smith?
I think it was honestly just maturing and growing up, and the Goodnight Sleeps and I met by chance in college, and it to me like listening back, it sounds like a melting pot of everybody's ideas.
Yeah.
And the solo album was my first solo thing, and I just set up a lot of hard guidelines for myself of what kind of music I was gonna make, and now with this new stuff with Yor Smith, it feels very genuine, and it feels like playful to me, and like I have room to play around in without these hard boundaries and rules that I'm setting for myself.
I mean, every song on the EP is a lot of fun. Like,
Thank you.
Do you think the move from Minnesota to LA helped push that change? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I initially made the move because I was working with a lot of new people out in LA, and I was flying out for like writing sessions, and my publishing is out there. And I just had a friend that was like, you should just try moving out here. And I'm really glad that I did, because Minneapolis can be really comfortable. And it was terrifying to be in a new city, and also being a teeny tiny fish in a huge ocean. And it just like, it personally for me, I can't speak for others, but it did wonders for my creativity to have to fight, to have to grow, to have to push myself, to want to give up, and then not giving up, and then keeping on writing. Right. I think I wrote like 100 songs since I moved to LA. Yeah. So,
I mean, I feel like moving cities, especially from, the Midwest to the West Coast, is one of the hardest choices you can make.
Right.
I wanted to do it. I could have moved to Portland. I could have moved to New York.
Right.
And I'm still in the Midwest. I'm still in Cincinnati,
right.
and I'm
there's
glad
nothing wrong with staying.
No, there's not. And
to each their own.
I'm making it work, but like I always think like, oh, how could I have
right.
progressed by moving? Because you have to really push yourself.
Exactly. And remember this, like it worked wonders for my creativity to move to LA, but man, Prince never left Minneapolis, and his creativity was just fine. So,
no issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say there were any influences on your new EP for Your Smith?
Yeah, I wanted to. It was a very natural thing. I was in studios every day, and various sessions every day, writing like top 40 sounding music to try to get somewhere, and it totally exhausted me. I totally felt deprived of like culture and history, and it just like hit me one day, like all of the rich musical history that has come out of Los Angeles, and it's all music that I grew up listening to, because it's music that my mom and her family grew up listening to. So like Steely Dan and Carole King and Eagles and that whole generation of music, and I just got super obsessed with kind of 70s Laurel Canyon, that folk sing.
Yeah.
So I always grew up listening to that stuff, and then reconnecting with it was hugely inspirational.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just watched your sessions on The Current recently. I know those were posted like a month ago.
Yeah.
But either way, you had a different full live band than you do now for your tour.
Yeah.
Was there a reason you changed? I mean, was it because they couldn't tour, or you just felt the new band fit better?
Yeah, I wanted to. So those players, I've been playing with them for a long time, and still super close with them personally. And they started doing their own projects, and I knew that to complete the transformation, I really had to untether from a lot of things from everything that felt familiar, to really push myself.
Yeah.
And Jesse and Arlen definitely felt like a safe haven for me. And I needed to prove to myself that I could do it without them. And they're so supportive, and since then, they've gotten to focus on their personal projects that I think are amazing.
Yeah.
So in this new band, I'm really happy I did, because it ended up being an all-female cast, and touring with all women is so satisfying. I can't begin to tell you. Yeah, it was kind of an accident that it became an all-woman band, but I'm really happy that it did.
Yeah. I mean, I saw your post on Facebook a few days ago at the beginning of the tour when you're like, yes, this is an all-female band, but quit asking me, like, how does it feel? Because, I mean, that's like asking, how does it feel to have a new band?
It's like why I went with an all-female band. I was like, I just met up with a ton of people. They were the ones that I felt fitted the music, the vibe, the best, and it happened to be all women at the end of the day. Does that surprise me? No. Yeah. I really resonate with women, but, but it frustrates me, because sometimes people kind of make it seem like the reason why they're in my band is because they're femme identifying, but that's not why at all. They're incredible players, and they just happen to be all women.
Right. that's how it seemed for Cowbells recently. They were at Motor as well, which is Calmia of Rubble Bucket, her new solo project.
Cool.
Full female band, and the openers were a female folk group.
Yeah.
And I cannot think of the last time I went to a show where it was like completely female, and it was just really refreshing to see.
It is. It's like, it's weird that like you realize it doesn't happen very often when you're seeing it in front of you. And you're like, wow, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
This is nice.
I'm blanking on the artist that it is, but I know somebody has a full female festival. I don't know why I brought it up because I can't back up the info.
But it's not is it Fall Classic? What is the one in DC that's happening right now?
Sounds right.
Why I'm such an asshole for forgetting the name, because it's the founder, one of the co-founders of my label is putting on a festival in DC right now that's curated by her, whose artist name is LPX, and her friend Mackie Rogers, who's an amazing artist, and they curated the lineup. And it's not all female, but it is intended to be inclusive and a safe space.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's who I was thinking of, Maggie Rogers, so thank you. Are any of the other members in your group part of different groups that you would like to plug at all, or doing their own thing even? Yeah,
I mean, I think they're all amazing in their own right. Nilo is my keyboard player, and she has her own stuff out too. Steph Barker is my drummer. She's incredible. She's played with the band Coast Modern forever and ever. And then she also has her solo stuff out called Baby Bulldog, which is really fun. It's like all recorded in her like bedroom studio.
Nice.
And then Liv Slingerland is my bass player, and she has her solo stuff out. And she actually is releasing an EP really soon. So
cool.
Yeah,
so,
I'm excited for that.
Happening.
She was giving us a little sneak peek in the van yesterday, and it was ripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read in one of your interviews recently that you went on a musician/writing getaway to Nicaragua because of your label Neon Gold.
Yeah.
What was that like? Who did you go with as well?
It was so incredible. I didn't know anybody that went on the trip before I went. I had met Derek and Lizzie, the co-founders of Neon Gold, once in a meeting. When you meet Derek and Lizzie, they are like instantly magnetic people that you feel like you can trust and be friends with. They're so amazing and inclusive. But they asked me like via email if I could go to Nicaragua for their writing camp, and I was like, sure. I didn't think it was going to actually pan out, and it did. And I was like getting on the plane to Nicaragua, and I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And I kind of thought, like, as I just said earlier, I'm really over writing top 40 music right now. Or like the stereotypically homogenized top 40 that we all, that's synonymous with pop music today. But I knew that some of the producers that were going were kind of that world. And I was like, well, who knows? Like, maybe I'll get a cut, or, you know, maybe I'll meet some cool people. I love meeting new people. So I was like, maybe I'll just meet some cool people. And I didn't expect to write anything for me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to get like my 70s vibe that I was on at the time. And I went, and I was so wrong. I met the person that ended up being like the executive producer of the EP, Tommy English. He's my favorite collaborator right now. I met so many friends on that trip that have since become like family to me. And it was honestly like the best week of my life.
I can imagine. I mean, sometimes it just takes to really get away, to really,
it was so
find
fun.
new people, find yourself.
Right.
It's cool. I mean, the fact that they put you up, like, hey, we're going to send you to South America. Like, you want to do it?
It was so beautiful. Like, the location was wild.
Yeah.
It was so cool. It was like deep in the jungle. It was amazing. It was so great.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I just heard your cover recently on the Neon Gold's compilation of St. Lucia's Closer Than This.
Yeah.
Was there? I mean, that is honestly my favorite work they've done. Is that debut EP? There's just something special about that. It's really great. And I was like, wow, this sounds so much different than our stuff. Why does this sound so familiar too? And that's why I found it was a cover. Did you choose that yourself? Was there like a reasoning? I know it's a compilation for their anniversary, so I'm sure it was Neon Gold.
Yeah, they were trying to find a song for me to cover, and I remember I was really pressed. It was like I had to go on tour really soon. I was finishing up stuff in the studio, and I was like, guys, I don't have time. Like, I really want to be a part of this, and then it was my friend Noah Breakfast who produced the track. Was like, yo, dog, like you would sound so good on this song, and it's one of my favorite songs. I know you love it. And we listened to it, and I was like, man, this song is so good. And he did the production, and then I sang over it. And I just told him my only request is I was like, this would sound really good if it was like done in like a Fleetwood Mac type of way.
Yeah.
And so he like made the track.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard it yesterday for the first time, and I probably listened to yours like about 5 times since then, and there's 3. So
Thank you.
Really digging it. So thank you.
Thank you.
I know you mentioned you've been listening to some of your bandmates' work in the van. Is there anything else you've been really listening to, like new or old on the tour, or in general?
We've just been listening to like a ton of podcasts. Also trying to stomach all this Kavanaugh stuff. Trying to stay up on that, stay educated. It's hard when you're on tour. You get in your own little bubble. But what's going on right now is so frustrating. I know. It's so angry.
I mean, right before we did the interview, I checked, my phone, and voted in.
Great, awesome.
Kept wanting to hope that
wow.
We're gonna fucking pull through, but no, it's all fucked. But I mean,
we can swear on the radio.
Hope. We're online, so we can do whatever we want.
Can.
So.
Man, fuck Brett Kavanaugh.
Fuck Brett Kavanaugh. Fuck the GOP.
Yes, absolutely.
Fuck this country right now. I agree. So thank you.
Just continue to believe women, and if we can just keep conversations going and keep calling your Congress people, that's all I can say. And
and register to vote and vote next month because.
Yes, register
to
vote.
Be more important.
Go vote, please.
And I just got a couple more. I know you just dropped your debut EP, but do you have anything else recorded as of now or plans to record soon?
So tonight at the show, we're going to be playing a bunch of new stuff.
Okay.
I am kind of like halfway through the full length right now, just because I'm just always writing. But Tommy and I have been in the studio a lot lately, and I've been in the studio a lot with my friends, Captain Cuts. And I'm super excited about the stuff we're making, and
cool.
I love the EP so much that I put so much of myself into it that I want to keep touring it and pushing it, and then figure out what's next.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I know it's early. It might be too early to say, even if you even can say. But do you know if there's any plans for any festivals or upcoming things this summer?
Not at the moment. I'm sure. Okay. I'm sure my amazing agent is working his little ass off somewhere in New York right now as we talk.
Because Bonnaroo is my thing, and I would love to see you there.
I'll tell him. I'll say, Wilson, I need to be on Bonnaroo this year. Yeah. We'll make it happen. No, I don't know.